everyone, it's Rhonda here from Nelson Soapery. Today, let's get into our Sunday chat. Yes, I found my glasses again so that I can read all of your gorgeous comments, because the last few weeks I thought, oh no, where are they? And I actually couldn't see some of the comments very well. But today we're going to get into a Q&A, and please, just put a one-liner or something down the bottom if you have any questions. So, because of course we're here to help. Oh, hi, Jen. Yes, you did make my live lovely. Sometimes people forget and they come 20, 30 minutes in, but that's fine. I don't mind at all. It doesn't really matter, does it? Because lots of people watch this later and we're all in different time zones. But today I know it is really, really cold. So especially in Melbourne. But look, we're going to talk about a number of things today. And these are all, today I thought I'm just going to answer lots of questions that have come to me during the week. Lots of bath bomb questions about fading, making the bath bomb smooth, the candles looking wrinkly at the top. That was another one. How to get sales, whether wholesale's right for them or not, different platforms. And of course, making new products, making a YouTube channel. A few people have asked me that. So I'm happy to answer questions on all of that. And like I said, we will get into the chat, and I hope that all of these things are going to help. Also, like investing in machines and so on. Hi, Mark. Welcome, lovely, to our Sunday chat. Hello, Jackie. I hope you're having a lovely day today. I know it's just the start of the day, but I thought, look, I've got to get up because my poor husband has a really sore neck at the moment. So he's a bit cranky. So I thought we'll leave him inside while he's a bit cranky. We'll come and do everything else out here like I always do on Sunday. So now let's start from the start. So we'll do a quick thing on insurance because that's a question asked. Hello, Maria. Welcome, lovely, to our Sunday chat. Oh, hello, Wicked Bubbles. I'm glad that you're finally catching me. Hi, Rimmer. Welcome, lovely. So now we're going to first talk about insurance. Lots of people ask me about it. And look, I'm not an insurance agent, so I can't give you all the fine details. But one of them is Aussie. That, it's the main one that I sort of suggest. I will, after this video, I'll leave the links below and I'll pop them over on Patreon as well. And I'm going to do a bit of a blurb on them over there. So I've actually just got a quote for myself to change to them. And I definitely will be changing over to them. They're pretty affordable, roughly, I'm going to say roughly 35 to 40 a month, depending on what you want for your cover. But that's basically what mine's going to be. I think mine was 38 actually, and they were really good. But you need to read the fine lines of what they cover and what they don't, because it may not cover you if you're making different products, and you need to adhere to laws, ingredients, everything else. Because one thing that lots of people forget, so say somebody gets injured using your product, what they actually do is they can take that to consumer law, and then what happens from that is they will actually take part of your products out and have them tested. So if you don't say that you have lavender oil, for instance, and you do have it in there, then they can have that tested, and then you've got a problem and your insurance will not cover you because you haven't written the proper ingredients on the label. So that's the thing with insurance. You need to make sure that your labels are right. Everything is, up to date, because if you're missing some steps, then the insurance you're paying for just is not covering you. So don't think you're paying your $40 a month and it's going to cover. It's not if you don't have everything set in stone. And like I said, you don't have, even like everyone, honestly. Oh, hi, Joe. Welcome, darling. So have an exercise book, everybody. Just get an exercise book and just write batch numbers for each thing that you're doing. That's the easiest way. I'm not going to say it's the best way in the world. It's probably better to be Excel or something like that, or another program. But, just to start with, even if you're just starting. Hey, Christine, welcome, darling. If you're just starting, just write it in an exercise book so that you know, and then of course you can, once you get more confident, then you can obviously pop that over into an Excel or, a Word document even, anything. You just need to have all of these details together. So when we're talking about insurance, that's something just to think about. And I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that. I've just had a look, and I know that they specialize in soap makers and candle makers. So that's why I think it's really good if you go to someone that specializes and understands this industry as well. Hi, lovely. Welcome to this. So now let's get into a couple other things, everybody. So we've just touched on that. And like I said, I'm just really going to answer some questions that people have asked me during the week, although I always answer every single question. And I don't just give you a heart, because I hate that when I write something on YouTube and someone just gives you a heart. It's kind of like an insult that you've gone to an effort to write something and they can't even give you a one-liner back. And that's why I always try and answer your questions. If I don't, it means I've missed it. So you can always message me through my Facebook group, through Patreon, and through Insta, of course. So if you have a question or anything, message me through that and I'll always try and get back to you. Sadly, I'm on there like 15 hours a day. So I work about 15 hours a day, but that's only at the start. Eventually, I won't work those sort of hours. And it doesn't feel like 15 hours, everyone, because I get lots of people saying, oh my goodness, that's so much. But it doesn't feel like that because I'm working from home. So in the middle, I do dinner. I can take my kids to one of my daughters works down the street. So I can drop her off. She's 16. So I can drop her off, like I said, do dinner, put the washing on, come in between and do things. So it really doesn't feel like 15 hours. But, and not always, some hours 10. And, sometimes I go out for lunch with my daughter or a girlfriend or something. So, don't ever think that 15 hours means 15 straight hours of working and not moving out of this studio. It doesn't mean that at all. But I just thought, look, I'll just kind of talk about that. Now, the second question, a couple people have asked me about Fair and Trade Square. I did kind of talk about this last week, so I'll just touch on it a little bit. I've only joined Trade Square like a week ago, and I don't want to sort of say too much because I don't have that much experience with them yet. Trade Square is basically the same as Fair, but it's for Australians. So Trade Square, they actually got some money from the government. It was millions of dollars to set this up to try and make a platform for Aussies. So that's why I thought I'll join that. And I've had a number of my wholesale customers say they buy everything on there. So if anyone's looking at doing wholesale, it's definitely worth it. There is 2 different ways you can do it. So they can take 15% of your income and then they organize all the shipping and they will pay for the shipping. So that's one option. Or you pay for free shipping and you must give free shipping and then they only take 7%. I took the 15% because it works out better for me when they pay for the shipping and everything else. And you just got to know your prices and then you will be sweet. You'll be absolutely fine and you'll be able to do it. But, so say if your profit margin is usually 50%, you've got to remember once they're taking 15%, you're really only getting 35% of a profit margin. But you know what, everyone? Let's be honest here. I mean, I see people that aren't honest about this, but I'm going to be really, really honest with you here. The thing is, if you're sitting at home and you're like, I haven't had an order all month, why wouldn't you go on a platform like that? Honestly, it's better to get 35% than 0% because some of us are getting a big fat 0 at the moment. No, Trade Square does not replace Shopify, Jan. My Shopify is exactly the same. So what actually happens is they integrate together. So if somebody, say, Jan, you came onto my Trade Square and you bought something, then it comes back to my Shopify and it will say Jan's bought an item from, she's bought whatever from Trade Square. And then from there, it talks to each other. So people can still buy. So on my individual Shopify account, people that buy retail, they just can buy from there like normal. So nothing has changed at all. Card, what do you mean by card merchant fees, Mark, when it comes to Trade Square? Because people don't pay. So with Trade Square, they pay on Trade Square. So when I say 15%, that's it. There's no more costs involved. The only cost there is if you start making massive amounts, then they charge you $30 a month for an app. Sorry, we cut out again. I don't know. My internet's not very happy today. But, so basically, sorry, I didn't see the last person's comment. So just comment again and I'll see it because it actually took it off when my internet dropped out. But yeah, so basically that's how it works with Trade Square. So don't stress too much about Trade Square. And look, just ring them up or just basically you register and then they will contact you and you can have a meeting. I'm not an expert for sure, but in the last week, I think I've got 6 sales out of it. So over $1,000. So it's worth it for me because, look, let's be honest here. We're in really bad times. And I've been talking to lots of different suppliers and even big suppliers are saying their sales are down by 80%. And I think because of the election and everything else, everything going around the world, people are still a bit scared to spend. So that's why, sales are not good for many, many companies. And you'll hear lots of YouTubers talk about this at the moment. I won't kind of go into that too much. But even for me, my sales are down like 90%. But going on Trade Square, obviously it's better. But in fairness for me, like I obviously earn money on Patreon. I earn money on YouTube. And now I've had different companies ask me to collaborate with them and then they pay me or give me items. So I am earning money elsewhere, not just on my products. So it's not so bad for me, but for people that are depending on that money just on their products, it's really, really difficult. So that's one thing that I wanted to say. If you're not earning anything, well, 35% is better than 0, isn't it? So anyway, but that's a little bit about Trade Square. I will bring a video out later about that. Yeah, I know, Jen. And you know what, Jen? One thing I've noticed is many, many people buy their olive oil from Woolworths or Coles, even big shoppers. I buy all mine from Woolies. I actually use that Woolies card. You know how you get your, for anyone that doesn't know, Woolies is our shopping centre, just our department sort of, food shopping centre here. And we actually get points. So you get points off. And if you get so many points, just buying your normal shopping, you'll get $10 off. So then that means my bottle of oil that was $20 is now $10. So that's how I literally buy mine as well, because you often get a discount from Woolworths as well, Jen. So that's how I buy mine. I don't buy it. I wanted to buy it from an olive farm, but they're double the price. So I just went, well, I can't justify that, and nobody wants to pay $15 for a bar of soap. So anyway, so that's why I didn't do it. But even citric acid, the price is massive. It's it's like, I think it's up 200% or something. And it's not the supplier's fault. They're paying more too. So it's just really hard times at the moment. And products, even plastic containers, the PETs, the price has gone up a lot. So look, and this is it, everybody. For instance, if your bath bomb was $3 wholesale before and now the price has gone up, maybe you need to charge $4 wholesale. You need to put your price up accordingly to what the waxes or, whatever products have gone up, you need to up your price and people will buy it. My candles were $8, now they're $13.95. And that's because that's what the price indicates at the moment. It's just what I have to charge. And, I've had no problem. I've sold over 200 this week. So, that's the thing. People understand that. And so don't be cheap and try and just do a cheap product. If people love your product and trust you, they will buy it. And my product is in many stores now, from, day spas, hairdressers, florists, gift stores, newsagents. I mean, they're in so many different places. So that's the thing, everyone. And one thing, when I started, I was scared to do wholesale on my product. I thought, well, I have to do a white label because they want their name on it. And then I thought, you know what, my brand is not growing, and that's what I wanted. So now I've scrapped that. I do not offer a white label anymore. And a white label's when you make it and they get to put their brand on it. So now I don't do that. They just have to buy it with my brand on it, and it gets my brand across the across the world. And as many of you know that knew my beautiful dad, my dad was so proud of his name Nelson, which I am too. I kept my maiden name, and my name of Nelson was never going to be out there if I just let people put their brand on it. So, and you can offer that white label if that's what you want to do, but I just decided it wasn't for me. So they're kind of wholesale things you've got to think about as well as we go along. So now we've talked enough about Trade Square. Now let's get into the bath bomb questions. I had lots and lots of questions about bath bombs. Now, I've got some bath bomb material here. So if you can see this, if you can see mine, like, can you see how smooth that is? It's really smooth. It's gone through a sifter 3 times. So sometimes you're going to have to put that and sift it to make it really, really good. And so that's something that I've just done with mine when I have sifted everything down. So that's the thing with bath bombs. Sifting it makes it smooth and gorgeous, and that's why I get that beautiful end result in the candles. I get asked that quite a lot. And also, you've got to work with your humidity under 50 degrees. Really, 45 and under is best. But, you know, look, in winter, it's going to be around the 50. If it's higher than that, you're just going to get the bubbles expanding because there's too much moisture in the air. So that's just a quick, rundown on bath bombs. And also with, what's my other question about bath bombs? The color. So when you use water-soluble dyes, they don't last for a very long time. Once the sun hits it, or if it's sitting in a shop and the sun's hitting the window in a shop, it's going to lose its color. So it's better to put mica, and then on the inside of it, put an embed, or you can put some powder that you make with some, just mix some bicarb and mix a tiny weeny bit of water and just put it through your mixer. And if you keep mixing it, it will aerate it so it won't go hard. With, of course, the water-soluble dye, just a tiny weeny bit. And then you can put that powder on the inside of your bath bomb, so that will colour the bath. But it means that the outside's not going to lose the colour. So if you're at a market, or, if your bath bombs are going to be in somewhere that there's a lot of sun or light, which does happen in shops, that's something that I would definitely suggest, because otherwise they start getting little white dots on, they start fading, and they don't really look very nice. So if you don't want that, I suggest that you use mica, and like I said, the powder on the inside, because I know when I did markets, I actually ended up having to throw some away, and it was really disappointing because, that comes into your cash flow and your budget as well. It means you're just losing money. So you're really not even at 35%. You might be at 20% the time you throw them out and have to remake things. So that's really important as well, to do things like that. So that's a little bit about bath bombs, and make sure your fragrance, you're only using what you're legally allowed to use. If anybody wants to see me make magnesium bath bombs, I actually have just put a link onto Patreon. So if you're a Patreon member, you go over and you'll be able to see that for free. I will bring one later onto YouTube, but I probably won't put the recipe because that's something that I've given exclusively to Patreon members. So if you want that, you just need to join Patreon, and for $7.50 a month, you can see the recipes and so on. But anyway, that's where that is. But there's probably recipes on YouTube as well if you want to make magnesium bath bombs, and they're all the rage. I make mine white with just a tiny few drops of lavender, which are really nice as well. And they're great. You can actually pop them in a bucket for your sore feet. So if you've just got sore feet, or you don't have a bath, because lots of people in Australia now don't have a bath because a lot of new homes are not putting baths in. They're just putting showers in. So that's something you can do as well. Now, when we're talking about candles, we'll get on to the candle question. Candles are one of those things that people say, oh, it's rough at the top, or this wax isn't working. And a lot of questions are around coconut soy. And as many of you know, I use that now from Pure Candle Supplies. I've gone from soy to coconut soy. And the reason is coconut soy, well, the thing I've noticed, I'll just talk about me, is then the throws are much better. So that's what I like. The smell, the scent holds much better in coconut soy rather than soy. But the thing is with that, you need your temperature perfect. If your temperature is not perfect, your candle is not going to be perfect. Yeah, I am actually going to be doing a magnesium bath body butter mark. I have actually designed one. I've been making one for my son-in-law Reese. So I promised him I would do some formulations. So I'm actually going to give that to him maybe next week to try. And we will see. Before I put mine on the market, I'll definitely get him to try it. I've tried it and I love it, but you always want to test it on a few different people as well before you use it. But yeah, I've definitely made one. and it feels beautiful, especially for people that have sore knees and sore legs. A lot of people love it on the legs. I would just say if you're doing magnesium, because mine's an emulsified body butter, meaning it has water and the preservatives and everything. So with that, I definitely suggest that you just up the butter a bit rather than do your standard recipe. So mine has 50% butters rather than 40%, which is your normal emulsified butter. So usually you have a higher content of water than butters in emulsified. But anyway, that's just a little bit about it, Mark, because you asked about that, the magnesium body butter. So for the candles, you just need your temps to be perfect. If they're not perfect, you're not going to have those beautiful tops. So spend a lot of time really concentrating on getting that down. And I know that it's really annoying sitting there waiting because you think, oh, no, I'm waiting forever. And this candle's, 2 hours later and I'm still waiting. But, you just need your temperature to be right. So with the coconut soy from Pure Candle Supplies, I actually pour mine at between 43 to 44 degrees. So that's Celsius. So that's what I pour mine, which is really, really low. It's almost getting a little creamy looking, but that gives the smooth, perfect tops. I can't see if I've got one here to show you now. I think I'll box them all up at the moment. Have I got this one? This is my tester. No, that's not it. No, that's another one. Sorry, it's a different one. But anyway, the tops are really, really silky smooth. So you just need to make sure that, you're getting your temperatures right for the candle. And also the fragrances can really change that. And do remember vanilla in particular crystallizes and puts a brown sheen around the edges of coconut soy or soy, because that's just what the vanilla does. It just rises and makes this horrible kind of, ugly look on it. It doesn't change burning it or anything, but that's just something with, your soy and coconut soy and different fragrances, like I said. And I did notice a lot of the cheaper fragrances just don't hold the scent. Hence the price. As many of you know, I pay about $65 for 500 mils of fragrance oil, and that's from Pure Candle Supplies. That's their luxury high-end, one that I use, and that's the one that I prefer to use. So I don't prefer to use the cheap one. It just doesn't hold its scent as well. So... But, you choose what you like. It's your business. And, maybe you want to do a candle that isn't highly scented. And I do get asked from people, oh, can you put more scent in it? I'm like, no. So you need to be strong and say, no, that's the legal amount. I can't go over that. That's it, because people will always ask. I've been asked that many, many times, and I just continuously say no. So anyway, that's a little bit about candles. And, it's hard to say no because you feel bad, you feel really guilty, but, you just need to learn the word no when you're a business owner, because you've got to protect your business as well. Have I found down? Yeah. Hi, Joe. Joe's just asking about, the prices. Have I sold less with candles? Honestly, Joe, I've sold more. But I've only sold more when I talk about on wholesale. Wholesale, I've sold hundreds this week. But before that, you're 100% right. I've sold very little retail, very, very little retail for candles. But wholesale's a bit different because you've got stores that have still got people coming in and out. So they can sell it. But online, candles are really hard to sell online. And I don't do markets anymore. I just, I'm too busy. I don't have time to do markets. So I don't. So everything I need to sell is online. Like I literally need people to buy it online. And that's hard because they don't get to pick it up, smell it, look at it, see how beautiful it really is. And a lot of my jars have, as you can see behind me with a lot of my packaging and that up the top, they have beautiful labels and boxes. Like pretty much everything's boxed now. So, or soaps are wrapped. But, that's the thing. They can't see that really online. They can get a little look, but they can't really see and hold it. Once they hold it in a shop, they're usually sold. So that's the hardest thing. That's where wholesale helps, doesn't it? Because really, we sell wholesale. So when somebody buys hundreds of dollars worth of your wholesale, it's really not your problem when it sells. It's gone. They bought it. That's it. Of course you want it to sell because then they come back. But the thing is, when you make something inside your studio or your home, wherever you're making from, and you put it online, you're just hoping someone's going to buy it. And sometimes they don't, and then you're just sitting there waiting. So rather than have the products just go funny, consider wholesale. I'm not saying it's for everyone, and you definitely need to know your price. You can't be selling a candle for $5. You need to be selling a candle for, $10+ for a tiny candle, right up to, as most of you know, my big ones are $40. So, you need to be selling them at a better price so that you can actually do that. Oh, thank you, Joe. Yeah, I've worked a lot on this packaging. Honestly, some of these designs I actually had over 4 years ago, but as I said in another video, I just thought, look, everyone kept giving me their opinion, like family, friends. They kept saying, oh, it's not going to sell. Nobody likes vintage. You can't have floral on it, and not all my patterns are floral. Like some have like oranges on them, some have lemons and leaves on them, and so on. But and some have ships, because I have like a man's range that has sort of ships and clouds on it. And I have a few that in boxes now for my cloud bath bombs have clouds and rainbows on them. But, everyone said, oh, it's not going to sell. So I just kept changing what I wanted. But in the end, I actually, look, everyone's going to laugh here, but I sat there, I had a bit of a cry to myself, because I thought, this is not what I want. Like, I'm doing all this and I don't love it. And then I thought, you know what? I thought, that's it. I'm just going to go back to what I originally wanted, my idea, which was like this beautiful white look, everything crisp. But, and I've had this shelving unit for years. I even had it at my warehouse. But, I actually also wanted to have the patterns that just looked really beautiful, that would sell in a florist, a gift store, like a luxury kind of store, but at a price that anyone could afford. And that's really what I wanted to do. So I ended up going back to my original idea and went, that is it. I'm going back. I'm doing exactly what I wanted. And, look, it has worked for me. I will bring out a few different videos on how to actually get a basic box and how you can wrap them like this by just using some cheap sticky paper. And these labels cost, I think, about 10 cents a label, 8 to 10 cents for me to make it myself. If I was to buy it from Vistaprint or one of them, it's about $1. So, and that's buying in bulk. So I just couldn't afford that, or else I'd have to add that on the product. But anyway, I just thought, look, I'll just talk about that a little bit, because that was a part of my next question. A few people have asked me about designs. How do they know what designs to put on a package and what design not to? Look, my thing here is, everyone, you've got to love what you do. If you do not love this, you won't be passionate about it to keep going. And that was my thing. I just kept changing. I changed from color to black and white. Then I went to all pink. Then I went to bright pink. Then I went back to white. I just didn't love it because it wasn't what I originally planned. And then in the end, I thought, I just have to do what is me. What is me, what I want to get across, which was more of like a vintage, gorgeous pattern. So, please don't feel like, and two, people sometimes think, oh, well, that's been done, I can't do it. You can. I mean, look, generations ago, Laura Ashley were the king of patterns. And I mean, their patterns, not the exact pattern, because obviously you can't copy someone, but their design and that kind of look has been done many, many times, and florals are so in. You will see them everywhere. So, if you're sort of thinking, I don't know what to do with designs or templates, then, just go onto Canva, have a bit of a play and put things that you love. You might not sell them straight away, but just design things that suit your business, your brand, a little bit more about what you want. And I thought, look, I'll show you this. Let me grab these here. So basically, I'm going to give you an example. So now you can have, like we'll say this is just a whip, like a whip or a soap. So it looks pretty in the container, doesn't it? Yeah, it does look nice. And it is going to have a wrap. I haven't done that one. But if you start to wrap them and put them in a box, that is much more sellable. So these are my body butters. This is how they come now. I've just changed them into boxes. So they will actually come like this. And obviously that is much more sellable than, just a container, even for a store, because people like things in boxes. I know it sounds silly, but they do. And these are just easy boxes. I try and get the ones that have no wax because they are easy, much easier to recycle. So that's why I choose these particular ones. These are actually from Aussie Candle Supplies, and they are actually tin containers. So tin containers are more narrow, so they will actually fit so they'll actually fit like these sort of big 250 gram ones. So the 250 gram container that I'm using here, the largest tin container is this one here, and that will actually fit, I think it's 225 gram tin box. Will fit that one, and then the smaller containers fit the medium tin boxes. So that's what they actually are. They're just from Aussie Candles, and they're tin boxes. So measure them up and see. And then I have some from Stanley Packaging that fit my wider bath bombs that go into that as well. So that's a little bit about that. So now we're finished talking about that, and please don't feel like you're copying someone else or anything else. If it's your idea, it's your idea. As long as you have not copied someone else, you don't need to worry about that, because I know lots of people are saying, well, mine looks similar to someone else's or whatever. But you know what? There is millions and millions of products on the market. I think a lot of times, I don't know if there is a unique idea anymore, because most of it's been done. So if you think I'm going to put a rose pattern on a product, well, it may not be new, but I mean, it's going to be new to you. So like this pattern here, I've got off Canva, but it's not one pattern. So I've joined 3 or 4 patterns, muted the colors, changed the colors, and so on. So that one is not a normal just off Canva. I don't just use theirs. I add different things on. So you can get one pattern and then change it and you know, add extra spots on it or whatever, and then it becomes more of your unique design. So don't feel like that, because I know there's been a lot of questions about that lately. And at the start, I was really worried. I thought, oh, does mine look too much like someone else's? And I was getting myself all flustered. I got myself so upset about it. But honestly, in the end, you just have to do your thing. And please don't be scared to make something because it might look like someone else's. Because if someone else has just been around a couple of years, honestly, they probably got an idea from someone else, and then they've created their own look through that. So don't be scared to do that. Like I said, as long as you're not copying everything they're doing, I wouldn't do that. Definitely don't do that. But you can draw inspiration. I mean, I get people drawing inspiration from my products every day. So, and I have no problem whatsoever with that. So, you know, anyway, like I just wanted to say that because I know that's something that's been on people's mind lately. And now also I was talking with somebody asked me social interaction, like, does that actually help someone on YouTube or does it help you on Instagram? Yes, it does. If you're on Instagram, you want your followers, you want them to engage with you, and you know, you want them to answer questions, comment, likes, because that actually bumps you up further, you know, as we go along, whether it's on TikTok or whatever. Because TikTok's something I get asked a lot about, because I think I have about 7,500 followers on TikTok. But you know, it's just content. Just keep putting content out, everyone. Everything you make, put content out. If you don't like it, delete it, but at least you've got the footage and you can play with it. I pretty much film every single thing. So, you know, the only thing is I do everything on my iPhone. It's a 12 Pro Max. But you know, it's really hard because sometimes you need an extra speaker. So I've got to buy a speaker to go on this, because sometimes the speaker alone is not really good. So you know, that's something that you might want to look at. Now, let's talk about YouTube, because a few people have asked me how they actually set up a YouTube channel. Is it worth it? Does it actually help their brand and so on? Like, for me, 100% it's helped my brand. I would not be where I am, honestly, without YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and all of those others. But the one thing I've got to tell you about YouTube, YouTube takes a long time to take off. Like, it doesn't happen in Australia. I'm talking about in Australia. I've seen people in the US take off really fast. But in Australia, it doesn't work like that. It's much, much harder. But you can do it. It just means, like at the start, I just started filming. As you go along, you get better and better. But if you really want to do that, I would just say keep filming. And it took me over 100 videos before I actually made any money from YouTube. So you need to be in it for the long haul. It is not, honestly, it's not a 2-month thing. It is a long, long time if you want to keep, have your YouTube channel and, grow it. And then from there, people will start to go to your site. They buy things. It's just another media avenue to get people to, come to your products and to want to buy from you. So, yes, it definitely has helped me, and through YouTube, as many of you know now, through my Facebook groups and so on, I have been contacted by Cricket and I've just done a video which hopefully will come out tonight or tomorrow, and that one is going to be on how to make dust covers for candles, and I'll show you an easy way how to do it so that you don't have to buy the lid if you don't want to buy the lids. And in lots of stores they just have dust covers and no lids. But that's something that I've done, on my Cricut machine, so I'll show you from the start. So they've reached out to me after seeing other videos. They said they'd actually watched one of my other labeling videos that had a lot of views. And from that, then that's when they contacted me. But, I've been doing this for quite some time on YouTube, and I didn't have anyone offer me anything like that before. And that's like when you see a lot of other YouTubers and they do unwrapping of things and show you. That's what happens, that people, big companies find you on YouTube and then they say, hey, would you like to do a video? We want to collaborate with you. That's how it works. So if you want to do YouTube, 100% say yes, but just remember it's a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of editing. So it does cut into your day's time. And for me, I do part of it on the computer, part on the phones, then I need to join them all up, sometimes do voiceovers and so on. But it is worth it if you want to do a YouTube channel. Just remember that sometimes, you might be doing it for a year and you still don't get many people following. But if you keep doing it, then hopefully you will get followers, because people want to meet you. They want to like you. They want to know what you're doing. They want to see your products. And I think the reason that mine grew kind of, I wouldn't say fast, but it did grow quite well. I think it's because I wasn't greedy. I wasn't selfish. I was just showing what I was doing. I was happy to give away recipes. And even though I have Patreon now, I still do give away some recipes. And a lot of the earlier videos, I say to people, if I'm not giving the recipe, go to my earlier videos. The recipe's on there. And that actually shows people what you're doing and so on. Because like I said, they want to see, and I just have so many people contact me saying, look, I love your videos. You're really down to earth. And the thing is too, I'm not trying to be somebody with money. I'm not trying to say, hey, I'm making all this money. I'm really honest, and I try and say it as it is on YouTube. And I think people like that. They like that, I'm an average person, that I did not have a wage of over $100,000 or anything like that before, so that I had that money back up to help. I didn't have anything like that. I was just a normal mum from the suburbs. And that resonates with people. So if you're doing a YouTube channel, I just say be yourself. Don't try and be someone else. Just be yourself, because people want to see, and it's like Australians, I think, want to see the underdog win. That's what it is. They want to see just a little person succeed. So, and my whole thing of this was trying to help people, because I know how hard it was for me. Oh, that's okay, Kim. You can watch whenever you like, my love. Thank you so much. Anytime, love. But anyway, I won't blab on about it. But that was something that I just wanted to say. If you want to do a YouTube, just be yourself. You can, if you earn more money, great. That's amazing. But if you don't worry about it. It's free to set up. So, don't feel like you need all these fancy machines or fancy backgrounds. Just be yourself. I started making mine on the dining table. I didn't have even this studio set up at the start. So, don't feel like, that you can't do it because you don't have a special room or anything like that. You can literally film yourself at your dining table in your kitchen making candles or making a soap. Or you can say, hey, this is my journey. I'm just starting out. Do a bit of a vlog style. Just a normal inkjet. Sorry, my internet's going off and on all day today. But yeah, so I don't use anything fancy. Honestly, it's Big W. Department store. It's nothing exciting. I can't So, and the same as, look, everyone, I don't have a candle melter machine or anything like that. I melt it in a $25 slow cooker. That's how I still do everything all this time later. I will eventually get something, but, so that's what I want to say, everyone. Don't feel like, you need all these fancy smancy equipment at the start. You don't, just get going. You don't, just get going. That's my suggestion. Just get going and just get a feel for it, because you'll change as you go along. And but like I said, the main advice I can give you is people want to like you and they want to see what you're doing. They I think a lot of people have said to me that they like watching people they can relate to, and that's the thing. If they can relate to you, if your market is really an up market, then I would say your background needs to be up market. You need to have a real Hamptons home that looks gorgeous, and doing it in that kind of scene. But if you just want to be an average person, which is what I wanted to be, then you can just show yourself. And as I say, I live in a little $350,000 home in the outer suburbs of Melbourne, which is the cheapest home you could ever buy in Australia. For those in the US that don't know, that is like cheap as cheap. I mean, we had to go so far out, over 2 hours out, so that we could afford a home. So I am just, a standard mum from the suburbs, and we rented for 9 years before we got this house. So, just to let everyone know. So, and that is really important too. Now, let's talk about, we'll go back onto getting sales, because that's a thing. A lot of people ask me about getting sales. Look, at the moment, times are tough, but the only suggestion I can give is make sure you're posting on Reels, TikTok, Instagram, all the social medias that are free that you can do. If that's not working, then you need to go on a platform like Etsy, or you need to go on a platform like I said, that I've gone on Trade Square. Those things can help boost your sale, because they use SEO, and then they're paying for something you can't afford on your normal site. That's the only thing I can suggest, but times are tough. Times really are tough. So a lot of people, like I said, even suppliers are saying that some of their sales are down by close to 80%. So it will pick up. We're just in that time, everybody. So that's all I can suggest for that, which is what I do. But there's times I get no sales in a month. Look, I'm going to be honest here. There's times, like the last month, I think I've had maybe 4 sales on my site, which is not a lot for me, a month. And when I say sales, sometimes they're like $22. So, but wholesale, since I've gone on Trade Square, then I've sold $1,000 this month on Trade Square. But remember, I'm only going to profit $350 because of the fees and everything. But I'm happy with that, because that is better than a big fat zero. So, that's the thing. You have to sort of remember all of those things. So if you're not getting sales the way you are, and you've been trying for months and months, look at joining a platform. I'll be honest, I've tried Etsy a few times and I don't like it. It's never worked for me. But my daughter is on it and it works massively. She sells a huge amount of products on her site, a massive, massive amount. So, my daughter, I'm going to say she probably earned $100,000 on Etsy a year. So, but she has an earring business. It just depends on whether the algorithm picks you up at the start and how it works with Etsy. So, but like I said, I'm not on that. Well, I did one, which is a tester one on there, and proved fatal. And I said that a while ago, so it didn't work for me at all. Now, investing in machines, we'll just talk about that. A lot of people have said, should I invest in a big melter or, a big cream making machine and so on? Look, at the start, I'd say no. I mean, if you've got the money, of course. I mean, it makes your life easy. But if you don't have the money, I would not make a big investment. If you're even going to do well out of this. Some people don't. I mean, 30% of businesses fail in 12 months in Australia. They're the statistics. So, I would not be spending all this kind of money if you don't have it. So that's just something I would definitely say, don't do that. But if you're looking at investing in a machine, if you're a candle maker, obviously a melter, don't get the biggest one. Just get one that might hold 5 litres or something like that. You don't need a massive, massive one. But, life easier. A thing like a Cricut machine, that was my investment that I did. actually, before I even was sponsored by Cricket, I actually had a machine because I've had it for a couple of years now, and it was definitely the best investment I made, and that was a big investment for me. I think I paid like maybe $380 or something for the medium-sized one, and Cricket have sent me up the largest one now for collaborating with them, which is so nice. And I was so generous. I was generous for them, and I was just so grateful because look, honestly, I couldn't afford the big one. So it depends. If you can afford it, something like a Cricket will actually save you money in making labels and things like that. You got to think, will it save you money? Will it bring you value? So if it will bring you value, yes, then get those things if you can afford it. But if not, you can still use a pair of scissors, everyone, just to get started until you start earning some money. So that's a bit about that. Now let's talk about the last two things. One is Patreon and one is new products. So a couple people have said, how does Patreon work? It's really simple. Just click on the links in most of my videos. We'll have a Patreon link and you can join it from $5 onwards. $5 means you're literally just supporting me, honestly. If you want more than that, you really need to go to like the $7.50 or $10 are the most popular ones a month. And basically you're going to get my blogs. Pretty much every second day I'll put something on there. So it'd be recipes, blogs, links, things like that. So it's just helping you out. And you're obviously helping me and we're supporting each other, making a community. So that's what Patreon is. It's to support creators like me, because it does cost money to do all of this. And this is the only way I make money. I don't have another job besides this. This is my full-time job, everyone. Not that it's full-time wage, but it's my full-time job. So anyway, that's just a short bit about Patreon, but you can go over there and have a look before you pay anything either. And now we're just going to talk about products and getting new products. The one mistake I made at the start is getting too many products. I thought I'm going to make everything to make something for everyone. I would say don't do that. If you're starting out, just choose 5 cents. So even if you say, all right, I've got 5 cents, I've got a fruity one, I've got, masculine one, and I've got some florals. Florals are the biggest sellers for me, but some people say they're fruity are the biggest sellers for them. So whatever your market is, and then you might say, okay, I can do these 5 cents in soap, candles, whips, bath bombs, whatever you want to do, because then you only have to buy 5 cents. But you can still have lots of products, but just in those cents. So that is what I would suggest to start with at the start, because too many products just sit on the shelf. And a lot of my things at the start, they sat on the shelf and I threw them out because I thought I'm going to make everything and I just made too much. So that's what I would suggest. Don't make too much, because when you do that, it costs you a lot of money. And it's, looks, when someone goes to a website and there's hundreds and hundreds of products, sometimes they don't even get past the second or third page. They just go, no, too much work, too many clicking, and they'll just buy on the first or second page. So that would be my suggestion, just not to have too many. And I've definitely culled down a lot of my designs. I have culled down a lot of like my body butters. I think I have 8 maybe, and the same as my soap whips. I think I only have 4 or 5, can't remember, but those ones I'm definitely culling down. But at the moment I'm selling a lot of whip soap because people really love it, and mine. So, and that's the thing too, you need a selling point. Mine all have jojoba oil in it, which is a beautiful oil. It is a luxury oil, and it just does feel really nice. So the same as my bath bombs have that, so it's a selling point. So if you're going to do new products, have something in it that's your selling point. So some people might say, well, hemp oil is my selling point, or avocado oil. And you're always going to have someone to say, well, I don't like that oil. Well, I just say, well, I'm sorry, that's just my recipe. I don't change it for one person. So if someone doesn't like it, you just need to say, look, I'm sorry, that's just our formulation, and let people know. But anyway, I think we are finished today. I think you are probably sick of my voice. I did have somebody say during the week, which I deleted their comment, said my voice was annoying and I talk too much. But that's what you're all going to. So, and that's the thing, as I was saying earlier with YouTube, you just have to get a bit of a thick skin, because you will get that. Oh, and if I can leave you with one last comment, everyone, please take this massive advice. Do not screenshot bad things that people say and put them on social media. Do not ever do that. I've seen lots of people do that. It's a really bad business move to ever screenshot somebody and flash it around, because that's just not right. Yeah, Jan, you're right. You are so right, Jan. You got to laugh, Jan. You know, I mean, at the start I used to cry, but now you got to laugh, because I think, you know, surely they got something better to do than say I talk too much. I mean, you know, and, you know, look, everybody, you know, this is the thing I've noticed since doing YouTube. Since doing this, I've had people contact me to say they're really lonely. And by hearing my lives or hearing me talk, makes them feel like they have a friend, they have somebody. So even sometimes people will comment things, and that might be the only person they're coming in contact with for that week. So if I'm helping just one person feel not lonely, and to feel that they can ask another human being a question and get an answer, I'm happy to do that. So, you know, just be kind, everyone. Like, really, I mean, kindness will help grow your business. I really truly believe that is what's helped grow my business, because, you know, I give people advice all the time, free advice, and it is free, and then you can do with that advice whatever you like. But, I mean, of course, you've got to, you know, do your due diligence on anything that anyone says as well. Oh, what is the pretty pink and white soap behind me? That's called Valentine's. Or is it this one? This one here is my Blooming Rose. That's my most famous soap. I sell a lot of Blooming Rose. To be honest, Jan, I think I have 1,000 soap. I mean, how sad is that? But the one that you can see up the top in the background, that is called Valentine's. And that one has not been wrapped yet. So some of these are still curing. They're on like paper. So they're not just on the shelf, they have like papers under them, and then they're curing. And when they're finished, I'll show you these ones. So then that's what they look like when they're finished. They go out like this. So that's the soap when they go out. They're like packaged up for customers to see. But before, like, all these ones are just curing. So like this one's like lemon meringue, and you know, there's quite a few, but yeah, so they just sit on there and cure for now. But yeah, they do look beautiful, don't they? I'm going to be sad to sell them off. Oh, thank you, Jan. Thank you. My son's girlfriend came in here for the first time, and she said, oh my goodness, wow, look at all that soap. She was quite shocked. So yeah, and my son said, well, she's actually a soap maker. That's her job. So funny. Thank you so much, Joe. Thank you. And I will go and say goodbye to everyone. Have a lovely weekend, what's left with it. And I will see you next week. Bye, everyone.